Hello, everyone. Corey here, coming in to do the energy update for this weekend, and I guess following into next week as well. This is April the 26th. We are down in the last few days of April. I will have the monthly for May coming up as well. You will get next week. But for today, we are getting this last few days. And of course, the beginning, trailing into the beginning of May. So we are right on when we're recording this, kind of right when the Mercury retrograde is going direct, and it's like you want to be the like hurrah, 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 but there is a few more days of release of the energy. But there is a shift, and so that brings in a shift in the energy. It also gives us a um the kind of starting to build momentum again. So it's like getting our energy back, getting back into this energy or getting into this new energy, being able to recharge again, feeling recharged, feeling ready for the world. And as I'm saying that, I'm actually today I got a cold from my granddaughter. And so I'm feeling very lethargic myself today and just doing things when I feel the energy and feel like I have the energy and really trusting that. I need groceries. Can't just haven't had the guts to go out and get groceries yet today. But I will get there. I'll go get some groceries when I have the energy. And that's kind of what it's going to be like for all this kind of over the weekend in the next week is, do I have the energy? And I don't have the energy yet. Maybe later today I'll have the energy. I can't do that right now, but maybe I can do that later today. What do I have the energy for? Now we also have a lot of this, the existing in the shadow of this Mercury retrograde energy as well. So we're kind of behind, I want to say kind of behind ourselves, looking at ourselves. That's the only way I can describe this energy, the way I see it, not saying how anyone else sees it, but kind of behind ourselves, looking at ourselves. And so being able to observe from a shadow perspective of ourselves, being able to see the self that's moving forward, but being existing in the shadow energy, what it's like to be a shadow. You know what it's like when you're apprenticing or you're training and you're a newbie and you're learning new things and you feel the frustration, but you also feel the enthusiasm, but you also feel kind of like, do I know anything at all? Or there's a little bit of, I used to always say this about in my other industry of when I was hairstyling. I'm like, so when students first come out of hairdressing school or they're just learning new things, they're like, got it all figured out. They're going to kind of show up all of us old hairstylists, right? That's our ego. And it's like, yeah, I learned this and I got all this new stuff but you're used to working in such a controlled environment. And then when they step into the salon and they step into not having the instructor, having the teacher, and then they're dealt with the difficult client or the difficult situation that they've never dealt with, or that not everybody wants the in style that you have hairstyles that people are comfortable with. Everybody is different. And so they're met with scenarios and situations of where that ego slowly starts to be defeated. And so there's a sense of, oh God, so everything I thought I knew, I only knew because I knew it in the controlled environment, what I was comfortable in, what I got here. And then you realize there's a lot more wisdom and experience that is out there. And so that's kind of us working with the God consciousness. That's kind of us working with the greater wisdom. It is so much greater than our opinions, our expectations, our self-imposed. I just remember I was speaking about this today. Self-imposed opinions. The self-imposed opinions that we have of ourselves creates our imposter. And our true self is behind there. So it's not that there wasn't a great hairstylist that was buried in there, but all the preconceived perceptions that people have, or the ideas or the opinions, or how they're going to be better than the next hairstylist, and that really difficult client that no one can ever please, then they're going to be the person that's going to be able to please them. But it got nothing to do with the hair, but the psychology behind all of that, they haven't gotten yet. The experience, life hasn't kicked them in the butt enough. That's kind of what it's like. That's what it's like to be existing in the shadow and to be really, truly shadowing your own light, shadowing what's possible, shadowing what's already made it. So those parts of ourselves, the energy that's already existing in that future energy of being through humility, being through pain, being through all of those things, and then on the other side, and we're kind of looking at it, we're kind of seeing that. And so seeing that in ourselves can feel very odd. It can feel very, we think it's in our now. We think that's what's happening to us right now. And it's like, but it's not what's really happening to you right now. It's what you're experiencing, to be able to see some of the old patterns and the old behaviors and the old ways revealing itself again. And so there's this revealing energy of it, and just saying, see that? If we take that with us, we're just gonna, the past will eventually repeat itself, and the old habits and behaviors will eventually return again. You will go into a repeat, because the imposter energy, the imposter of the truest version of self, is hidden behind those self-imposed opinions, hidden behind the idea of the image of self, the persona that we create, the mask that we wear, the role, who we think we are based on the roles that we play, and breaking those down and being able to see beyond those, being able to see. So for example, is, that thought of what gets us through sometimes in hairdressing, what gets you through the schooling or gets you through all the apprenticeship part, is believing in yourself that you will be a great hairstylist. All the rest of it is all the stuff that goes with it. So the great hairstylist exists over here, but she's not yet here, because she's got a lot to learn. And that's why we have wiser ones. That's why we have in the council, we have the wise ones. That's why we have greater wisdom. That's why we have all of this greater knowing. And that's why we infants don't run the world. But when our little inner child and unhealed wounds is the things that are motivating us and have been the ones that created the structure of the adult self, and then it is as if emotionally it truly is the emotional immature thought, the emotional immature emotion and spirit of self that is running your world and running your life. And then there's a parenting view, a parenting thought that's also there waiting, and it's there saying, come on now. And that becomes the little whisper, the little voice, and it's not chattery. And so sometimes we got to sometimes we have to let ourselves exist in that old self, that old energy, that old story, so that we can really truly feel how far away we actually are from it. It's just, it feels so real in the moment, but it's hard to see our own success. It's hard to see how far we've come when one little thing, one little hiccup makes us feel as if we have spiraled all the way back. And we haven't spiraled all the way back. You didn't spiral all the way back. You're just learning. And so you're apprenticing in the greatest wisdom, right? And so we are the apprentice in the greatest of wisdom. And that greater wisdom is just trying, if you just stop talking and you start listening, if you just start observing, if you just start paying attention, if you stop thinking that you've already got it figured out, if you stop saying, okay, I got it, when you look at your life and you see the truth that you keep repeating something on repeat, and you say, no, you know what? I don't fully have it. I believe there's something else for me to learn. I believe there's something new for me to learn. I believe there's a lot for me to learn. When you can look at it that way and say, oh, so as if we wake up every day as if we know nothing, with the opportunity to learn everything. And that's what I tell my Reiki students when they're taking their masters and their teacher level, is when you step in to take your Reiki master teacher, now you're ready to be taught. When you take your master level, now you're ready to really truly understand what it means to master life. And master life is to listen. Master life is talk less, listen more. It is to have less opinions and more ability to be curious, ask more questions, be curious about the world, become an observer, and become a witness of the own patterns and behaviors and expectations that we do place, and how deeply we go into really truly getting caught in the thought of how, why is the world not being who I need them to be? If everyone just do what I want, I'll be happy. No, that is the spoiled tantrum energy. If everyone just did what you want, you'll just find another reason to have a tantrum, another reason to get angry, another reason to be upset, another reason not to be happy, because that becomes the comfort. That gets us back to that old brain thinking. And so this next few days feels like that is the energy that we need to really, truly allow ourselves to be, so that we can really be motivated by that light that's ahead of us, by that leader that's ahead of us, by this, and not to be envious, not to be jealous, not to have a thought that we're better or that we're going to be better or I can do it better. It's not that we can do it better, it's that we can be the best version of ourselves. We can live as the best version of ourselves, and we can be the best of us in all relationships that we step into, all jobs, all roles that we play. And we can be the best and healthiest of ourselves and not still be trying to chase something, make up for something, or still trying to seek that sense of approval or validation from something outside of self. And so this energy has that powerful influence, but it is so easy to run from it. It's so easy to avoid it. So easy to say, I know, I got it. It's so easy to say that this energy doesn't know what it's talking about. It's like, that's easy, but we are getting the heads up that life will repeat itself. Those things will repeat itself if we don't get the lessons now, if we don't do the things that we need to do on a world scale, on a bigger scale. And there's a lot of big kind of it's like throwing prizes out to the world and just saying, here, look what I'm going to give you, to get you to not to look where you need to look. Just like pretend it's not happening, but that's not possible anymore. And it just feels like there's an awakening, an explosion of beautiful energy that just says, this is our opportunity. And there's so many opportunities. And so what's hiding in there, what's hiding in that energy that just is saying, there's a treasure in here to be found. There is a key to the future self. There's a key to the future in there. And there is so many pieces of self that are waiting inside of that energy for it to kind of open the doors for you to be able to walk through, for us to be able to walk in and walk into new possibilities, to walk into new beginnings, to walk into new energy, and to be able to move through that energy. So for myself, one of my words that was coming up, there's two. Well, one didn't come from me. So one actually was, I was writing about the word harassment, about harassing myself, right? About what it meant to really, truly be that sense of hard on self. And then, and I realized it was a pattern, it was a repeat. And then I was listening to, who was I listening to? I listened to one of my own horoscopes and one of my own astrology things for Aries. And it was actually, I think, the Leo King. And I was listening to the Leo King, and I was listening to Aries for, and it was kind of a kick in the ass. And it was this kick in the ass message, and it was literally about dilemmas. And it's like, for Aries, stop creating your own dilemma. Stop creating that own mindset for dilemma. And I said, that so ties into everything that I have been writing out for this week's energy update. But for me, that's my word. So my word for myself and my shadow. And so in my shadow, stepping into the shadow, letting myself look at that future self, how do I prevent myself from, existing in that dilemma? And so I'm like, it so ties in to the message. It ties into everything that I have been bringing through. So I was just laying on my bed, and I literally have, and I'm going to be honest with you, because I don't wear these pants ever, but I'm not well today. So I literally have like the nice shirt on, and, well, not really nice shirt, but a shirt on. I have jogging pants. I don't wear jogging pants ever. And I'm like, I need comfy pants. And I had these for after, when I came home from my surgery, from my back surgery. And I'm like, I just need really comfy pants today. Like, not even yoga pants, like, just not cutting it. I need a pair of comfy pants to put on. And so I found these, I dug these out and I put them on, and I'm walking around with my hands in my pocket. And I said, I feel like I'm a teenager. And I just remember being like, because I would wear my figure skating tights and clothes like under jogging pants like this. So when I get to the arena, you just take it off, get your skates on, and then in between your own times and coaching, you'd be able to stay warm in jogging pants. And I realized I felt like a teenager. I felt like my teenage days. Something about this was my comfort. And so it created this comfort that brought me back to teenage years. And I could feel myself in my teenage years and all the things that I would allow in my life that should have been red flags just to have a boyfriend, just to hold on to that person, just to keep them there, and wanting to be seen, wanted to be understood. And I'm like, I continually, would turn blind eyes to the things that I knew was going to cause me deeper pain. And I was only a teenager. I was only a young girl. I had a young girl brain. Now, the old version of that self that's here today wouldn't be able to turn the same blind eye, because there's a maturity, there's a level of knowing. But when we look at self and how we are in relationship to ourselves, is there things that are imposing, that brings the imposter energy in, that you use for self-soothing, any isms that have getting lost in the phone, those type of things that I'm like, whoa, those moments, those hours that I lose, those keep me from living my best life. And not for me to work more, but more time that I can spend with myself and do the things that I need to do for me. I need to look at that. I need to discover that. I need to hear myself. I need to see myself. But I also need to be, I also have this need to create some sort of comfort, to let myself just be comfortable in my own skin and let myself be comfortable at 53 years old and not feeling like I still have to chase the 40-something-year-old or the 30-year-old or that 15-year-old. That 15-year-old girl, that 16, that 17, that 18-year-old girl, it's a non-existent. But our body remembers. Our body remembers. And where I used to take it out, used to be able to release that energy at that time in my life, was on the ice. It was figure skating. And there's nothing I love more than the sound of the blades, sharp blades on fresh ice. And just that sound. And I realized that that was my soothing. That was my comfort. That was my happy place. And it literally was exercise. So my happy place is not in jogging pants sitting around in the house, but it's actually exercising. It's movement. And so to be moving is where my happy place is. See the nugget I picked out of there? Right? It's not to lounge around, it's not to, but to give myself the pause and know when I have the energy, when I feel well, you got to move, girl, you got to move. At this age, you got to move. Maybe you're not going to be out doing axles across the ice, but you're going to be out walking around. You're going to be out walking around the blocks, right? You're going to be out doing those things. And so these are the conversations of evolving the conversations that we have with ourselves instead of beating ourselves up, because we are apprenticing, we're learning, we're growing, we're just beginners, we're newbies in so many areas of our lives. But we have so many things that are here teaching us right now. We have so many things here to really truly guide us. And one of those is that voice, is that feeling, is that nudge, is that intuition that we're not always listening to, or we override it. We let it be overridden by, you know what? I know what I'm going to do this because I have to go that because I'm going to prove myself in the world. A lot of those things that we do literally cause us more pain than it causes us more peace. And when we can recognize that maybe I want to create more peace in my life, but I keep contributing to what causes me more pain, am I really getting anywhere? Am I really getting to that place of where I really need to go, where I want to go? Is that really the future, what I see of the future self? What do I see that future self doing? What do I really see that future self doing? And if I can really see what that future self is doing, then I'm going to be an apprentice to what I see, what I feel, what I witness that future self doing, even if it's in my dream state, even if it's in my writings of the dream. It's like, what kind of life do I really want to build? And what am I looking to build? And who do I need to build that with? And who do I need to be for that experience? Who do I need to be to step into that experience? And sometimes it requires a great let go and a release. And it means letting go of the past. It means finally being able to sit with the shadow, stay with the shadow long enough to hear what the frustration really was, so that the key that held the best of you back is then going to be what finally releases the best of you, so that the best of you can be a part of the best of your future and the best of what's to come and the best of what's possible, because we have a shift in energy, and it just feels like we're stepping into this. I feel like May, I'm going to speak about this in May, but I feel like for May we're stepping into this kind of like war energy, and I'm seeing a lot of ice cold. Like, it's kind of like, I always say this, that sometimes, it's like when I'm channeling or when I'm doing some of this work, it may feel like I'm ice cold. It's not that you're ice cold, it's that you're leaving the emotional, the second response out. You're leaving out responding from the emotions, from the guilt. Is sometimes we just got to do the right things for the right reasons, and we just got to get stuff done. And I mean good things, and we got to do the right things. And sometimes it's like that parent who's just got to be tough love. And sometimes we do need to have tough love, because if the kid says, I want to go and walk on that thin ice. And you're like, oh, but honey, that's thin ice. Oh, but I want to walk on that ice and I want to do it. And it's like, do you want to hurt the feelings of the child, or do you want the child to go through the thin ice? Chances are you're going to hurt the feelings of the child and say, no, that's not happening because that's dangerous and that ice is thin. And I'm not willing to risk losing you just so you can walk on thin ice. I'm going to pull you back from that. I'm going to keep you from doing that. And I'm not going to let you do something, because I have the wisdom and I know that ice is thin and what could happen if you walk it onto that ice. So I'm choosing, because I'm the parenting thought, and that's just not happened. So you can sit down and cry, you can pout, you can do whatever, but in the future, you'll thank me because you'll have a life. That's parenting. And so we have to become that parenting thought to self, and bring it into so many areas of our lives of where tantrums, where, that sense of trying to emotionally fill up on old things from the past that cannot be filled up on. But look into that future self, and what exactly is he doing? What are they doing? And see that energy, feel that energy, and just know that the shadow will release what needs to be released of the treasures that's been hidden, that's been holding it back, so it can move forward. That's what we got for you. And I hope this resonates with you. I hope somehow this connects to you. If it makes sense, of course, I do everything I'm very metaphoric in those storytellings. That's how my channels work. And so I hope in some way that this helps you. I will end it with a card from my deck of the Everyday Goddess Oracle cards, which does work with the divine feminine energy. We all have feminine and masculine energy. Of course, there is some infused masculine in the cards as well. Oh, this card come flying out, which is the most perfect card in the deck for this time. And so this is Christiana, and she is the Diamond of Facts, and activating, finding, and discovering that treasure, and then watching our world become colorful. So she is the effects to outgrowth effects. Now she's in mother energy, which we've been talking a lot about. We've been talking a lot about mother energy and how we have a lot of mothering thoughts here, parenting thoughts. And this is, we have lots of expectations upon the roles of who we think a mother should be and what we think our mother should have been for us. But now that we're all grown as adults, because this is for 18 and over, it's time to be that mother for the self. And we can place a lot of thoughts, a lot of expectations, and have a lot of tantrums over still waiting for a mother to be the mother to keep to make you happy, even if it comes at a cost for her not to be happy. Right. And so there's a remembering that if she just did everything I want her to do, then, I would be happy. But would she be happy? Would that make her happy? Think about that between the old brain, the shadow speaking, the old thoughts into your future self. Would she really be happy? So I'm going to read you this card. I do need glasses. So, imitation can only be passed off as true light until it's under the pressures that test it. Real faith stands the test of time. Imitation will crumble and break. Hi, my name is Christiana, here to give you the key to happiness and joy that can only be achieved from within. It's created from the right ingredients and correct amount that truly fills you up. The power of Christ consciousness is the ability to go to a place that has no destiny and only has a pure intention. The outgrowth effect is in the actions and choices that you make. The healing of this card. Oh, actually, I think I'll read it came out in the upright, but I'm going to read the reverse as well, because if it's in reverse, then this, so you may be having some reverse energy with this. So the attitude when life feels like you are going in reverse are the effects of the pressures, leaving you not seeing what is happening on your behalf. You may be tempted to run or to quit at this moment in time, but remember, everything beautiful takes time to be created. My dear friend, your life may feel like it's a struggle, but have you forgotten? You are a diamond in the rough. Don't let the pressures of life lead you to miss out on the good stuff. The healing. Time for some contemplation. Start with, what is your win today? From there, branch out and ask yourself, what brings me happiness and joy? Why is that important to me? Be sure to ask the right questions to the version of you that is becoming and not the you that once was. It is important to stay in the power of now, as that's where we need to be to heal, grow, let go, and realign. False light will try its best to get you to look elsewhere, to place the blame. True light will say, let's look at the cracks that may need repair. Do you get the picture? Imitation is just not enough for the daughters of the divine. Much love, Christiana. So the daughters and the sons of the divine. This is from the Everyday Goddess Oracle cards, which are directly on my website. And one thing that I quote, that I say in my books, that I coin in my books, is I always say, allow your shadow to walk. When you start to really walk in your light and walk in your truth, you never really eradicate all of the shadow energy. Is that you allow the shadow to walk behind, slightly behind, so that it can walk through your light. It is walking through love. Let it walk through the love. And so eventually it too becomes light. And that's where the integration happens. We set it free and we free ourselves of the misery, the struggles of what once was. And we step into the power of now and what is possible, what is up here, and how we are truly becoming a bigger part of our beautiful life that is waiting for us. I send you so much love. If you love these videos, please subscribe. Please hit the little notification buttons, bell button as well, so that you can get all the updates when it comes. There is in the bottom below all the information to where to purchase my cards and my books. My books are More Than Existing and My Truth Beyond the Reflection. And the third book is on its way very soon, and it is called Wine and Chips. And so I'm excited for that as well. And then also below, there is a place where you can donate to my work. There is a PayPal link below where you can donate into the work so that I can keep doing these things for you. I send you so much love. Have a beautiful weekend. And I will speak with you soon. Much love. Bye-bye.